You know what I love about Silicon Valley homeowners? Y'all are ambitious. You don't just want to sell your house, you want to absolutely crush it with the sale. And more often than not, you think that means selling it after it's been reborn as something featured in a restoration hardware catalog. New kitchen, new baths, blow out that wall. Hey, why not drop in a jacuzzi soaking tub while you're at it? Now you're thinking, if I spend 200 grand, I'll make 400 grand on the backside, right? When sellers tell me this, I say the same thing every time. Put down the sledgehammer and step away from the Pottery Barn credit card. Because here's the truth. Major pre-sale renovations rarely pay off. And not just rarely, I mean like pretty much never. I'm talking almost unicorn levels of rare. Now, I know that's not what a lot of agents say. Some agents will tell you, "Oh sure, spend 200,000 and you'll make 300,000 back." That sounds fantastic, right? I mean, who wouldn't want to turn their house into a short-term investment vehicle that pays out 50% in just a few short months? But here's the thing. Buyers are not in the business of reimbursing your receipts. They are in the business of buying a home that fits their needs and their lifestyle. And that brings us to Exhibit A, the MLS. The multiple listing service is where every home in the Bay Area goes to be judged, compared, and priced. Think of it like the stock market, except instead of stocks, it's homes. When you list your home there, buyers and their agents instantly compare it to everything else on the market and to recent sales. Now, what does that mean? It means that your home will sell for fair market value, not fair market value plus the 30 grand you dropped on marble counters with the fire clay backsplash, not fair market value plus the steam shower you think would be a knockout with buyers. Just fair market value, which is determined by the market, which is governed by the law of supply and demand, not by what you think people would pay extra for. Let me give you an analogy. Let's say you're walking into a high-end men's clothing store to buy a suit. Outside the store, a guy is standing there and he's wearing this gorgeous custom-tailored suit. It fits him perfectly, has the highest quality fabric and incredible style. Now you say, just to be polite, "Wow, that's a beautiful suit." And the guy says, "Thanks. You want to buy it? I paid 2,000 bucks for this and I've only worn it a few times, so it is in absolutely turnkey condition, but I will let you have it for $2,000. Now, you admit that's a nice suit, but it's that guy's suit. The cut doesn't quite fit you, and the style looks great on him, but maybe not so much on you. Now, if you're going to pay 2,000 bucks for a suit, you're going to go inside that store to get your own suit. You're not buying someone else's secondhand suit, which sure is great for them, but it's not exactly what you're looking for. And that is precisely how buyers feel about your particular choice of upgrades in your home. Now, they may admire them, they may even say, "Wow," but they're not going to pay top dollar for your custom taste. They'd rather spend the money on something that is closer to their own style. But set aside your custom upgrades for the moment, because if you're going to do major pre-sale renovations, you're probably going to try to pick neutral colors and affordable mass market materials that you're told everyone loves. After all, you've watched HGTV, you know what buyers want because Chip and Joanna and the Property Brothers have schooled you on how to maximize sale price with trendy, eye-catching renovations. Oh, if only it were that easy. The truth is that the economics of pre-sale renovations have been studied to death, and the results are clear and consistent and have been for years. Major pre-sale renovations typically return only 50 to 70% of their cost, so that $100,000 you spend on kitchen and bathroom upgrades are likely to boost your home sale price by $50 to $70,000. The higher sale price is great for your ego and is great for your neighbors who love to see high sale prices in the neighborhood. And it's also good for your realtor for their portfolio of rehab projects. And of course, they'll make marginally more money on the sale because they earn a portion of the sale price. But the painful truth is that in this case, you're losing $30,000 to $50,000 versus selling your home more or less as is. Plain and simple, this is what the data show year after year in the Bay Area and across the country. Now, I know, your house is different and your neighborhood is different, and everyone there splashes out big, fixing up their home prior to resale, and they make gobs of money when they do it. Now, I am sure all of that is true, except for the last part. In most cases, they aren't netting more money by doing this, and more often than not, they're actually getting taken to the cleaners. I bet you still don't believe me because everyone does it, so it must be the smart thing to do. But here is some absolute proof that what I'm telling you is true. Take a look at professional house flippers. These are people who live and die by squeezing profit out of renovations. They've got crews on speed dial, wholesale pricing on materials, and they know how to cut costs and they work fast. Now, if it were profitable to buy fixer-uppers off the MLS at full market value, renovate them, and resell them for more, you would see flippers doing it all the time. They would buy every fixer-upper the minute it hits the open market. But you don't see that. And why don't you see that? Well, it's because it just doesn't work. Flippers almost never buy homes from the MLS. Actually, I work with about 25 of them, and none of them will ever want me to send them a home to evaluate for purchase that's listed for sale on the MLS. Flippers almost exclusively buy off market at a steep discount off fair market value because that is the only way the math pencils out. They just cannot pay fair market value and make a profit by rehabbing and reselling it. It just doesn't happen because it just doesn't work. And then there's the market risk. Maybe you start your bathroom remodel in a hot seller's market, but by the time you finish, interest rates have ticked up and tech stocks have dipped, and suddenly buyers are picky. You've spent months and money and you're hitting the market at the wrong moment. And here's the kicker. Buyers are picky no matter what. You can spend a fortune making your home magazine worthy, and the very first buyer through the door will say, "Oh, I'd rip this out and do it completely differently." I've literally seen buyers walk into a $100,000 kitchen remodel and say, "Yeah, I would need to redo this whole thing." When finishes aren't what the buyer would be happy with, they will discount your home because they're already mentally budgeting in to change it. So, what should you do if you want to maximize the resale price of your home cost effectively to the point where the money that you put in is going to be greater than the money you get out? Well, first thing is, you've got to forget the fantasy of hitting the market with a freshly renovated dream house. Instead, focus on what I call the low-hanging fruit. The stuff that really matters because every single buyer hates it, every single one. Dirt, clutter, weird smells, overgrown landscaping, broken fixtures, bad lighting, anything that makes the home feel uncared for or unsafe. This is the kind of pre-sale home preparation that actually pays off, and it pays really well. But why does this kind of work pay and the other kind does not? It turns out that there's a well-known economic theory that explains this very clearly. It's called prospect theory, and it says people feel losses twice as strongly as gains. In real estate, that means buyers care way more about avoiding what they hate than paying extra for what you think they like. Fix the clutter, the smells, the leaks, and that moves the needle way more than your fancy imported tile. Avoiding pain beats chasing pleasure every time, hands down and by a mile. And that's why mitigating conditions that buyers hate is so much more cost-effective than making improvements you think they'll like. Look, I get it. You love your house. You want to turn over a house that the next buyer will love as much as you do. So here's my advice. Save the dream remodel for the home you plan to live in for the next decade. For the home you're selling now, do the basics. Hit the market clean and as palatable as possible, and let buyers pay you for what really has value: the location, lot size, square footage, and floor plan. Because proof is proof. Major pre-sale renovations rarely pay off for Bay Area and Silicon Valley homeowners. The MLS shows it. The studies show it. The flippers prove it. And every frustrated seller who's ever sunk six figures into a remodel only to get half back at closing knows it very well too. Don't make that mistake. Keep your money where it belongs, in your pocket, when you walk away from the closing table. Hey, if you want to talk about selling your home and how to extract the most cash possible when you close, after all fees and costs, I'm the guy that you need to talk to. It's what I do. You can reach me anytime on my iPhone. That phone number is here at the bottom of the screen. It's 408-596-1623. I would love to chat with you and find out what your situation is, what your goals are, and the timeline for the sale, and how I can help you make your next move the best one yet.